With Election Day right around the corner, a number of levies and bonds on Tuesday's ballot may affect a lot of your children. Just ahead, how your vote could help keep local schools on normal operations.
It's surprising. It's a little bit upsetting to me that those kind of things were found out.
Plus, terrifying new details tonight suggest the family of 5 found mysteriously dead in their Utah home. Well, it may not have been an accident.
I think they should have the right to wear it. They're engaged.
And to tonight's hot topic story, you may want to think twice before you put a ring on if you want to work for one of the coffee giant companies. Coming up, their outrageous new dress code. Local News 8 at 5 starts right now.
You're watching Local News 8 at 5. Local people, local news.
Good evening, everyone. With Election Day less than a week away now, we begin tonight with Local News 8's Election 2014 coverage. When you head to the polls on Tuesday, you could be voting on a levy or a bond for your school district.
There are 3 districts in this viewing area that have either levies or bonds on the ballot. Local News 8's Chelsea Brensel spoke with 3 district superintendents today, and you learned a lot, Chelsea, so tell us about it.
Well, Jay and Carol, 2 of the districts, Bonneville and West Jefferson, are asking for a renewal of their supplemental levies, while Teton Valley is asking for a construction bond to build more schools. I spoke with all 3 of the district superintendents today, and each told me that the bonds are necessary to continue with normal school operations.
Investing in these schools will benefit our children to be career and college ready when they graduate from our school district.
Now at 6, I'll break down exactly what each levy and bond is and the impact it could have on your child. Live in the studio, I'm Chelsea Brensel.
All right, thank you. We'll have election coverage live for you on Tuesday night right here on Local News 8.
In the race for Wyoming State Superintendent, Democrat Mike Ceballos has raised about $100,000 more than the Republican Julian Ballo. Campaign finance records have Ceballos reporting $195,000 in funds raised by his campaign since January. Ballo reported about $90,000. Reports show that Ceballos received a little more than half of his donations from himself or other family members. Ballo received about a third from herself and family.
Meanwhile, tonight, Republican Sherry Ibarra and Democrat Jana Jones are facing off in Idaho Falls. The 2 are running to be Idaho's next superintendent of public instruction. They're going to debate inside the auditorium at the Compass Academy. The senior English and government classes at the school are hosting this debate, and it's the last debate scheduled in this area between these 2 women. It's open to the public. It begins at 7 p.m. Also taking place this evening, candidates for Idaho's governor's race will take the spotlight in Boise. Their debate is set for 7 p.m. and will air live on Idaho Public Television. The debate will feature Governor Otter, Democratic challenger A.J. Belukoff, and Libertarian candidate John Bujak.
Alerts Chief Meteorologist Michael Coates with a look at your weather. Not a bad day for the end of October, Michael.
No, not a bad day at all, and plenty of sunshine out there. We're getting that clearing sky throughout the morning, but by the afternoon hours today, we started building that high-level cloud cover, and we're starting to work on a cold front as we get into tomorrow and much of your weekend. It's going to be a whole nother weather story. Let me take you to the north. This is Henry's Lake webcam on the north end of Island Park. Yeah, that high-level cloud cover has really come across the region this afternoon. We're at 70 degrees, looking north on I-15 in Pocatello from the Farm Bureau cam. Winds northeast at 7 miles an hour. So light winds and hot temperatures for this time of the year. I mean, it is just warm for October, especially at this time of October. Mid-60s in Idaho Falls, 69 in Blackfoot, 63 for Rexburg. Temperatures are hard to believe, but when we have a cold front coming through, you'll know why we say warm before the storm. I'll talk more about that stormy weather pattern coming up in your full forecast. Jay, back over to you.
All right, thank you, Michael. The Idaho Falls Fire Department is implementing a new system to keep homes and businesses safe. Local News 8's Bree Clark is live outside of Idaho Falls at the fire department there. Bree, a new paperless system is helping fire officials really crack down on water and fire system violations, right?
Well, Jay, for the past couple of years, the fire marshal has been working on a system to make sure water lines and sprinkler systems are up to code. Fire officials say they work with third-party contractors to make sure water lines are clear and fire extinguishers are fully operational. In the past couple of years, the department has come up with a system that allows them to keep track of violations and results from routine inspections.
This allows us to connect to the business owner and to the service providers and to the fire department so that we can make sure that quality work's done on these life safety systems.
And Anderson says his new program isn't to bully anyone. He just wants to make sure that these systems are up to code and people are safe. And he's been working on it for a while, so we'll just see how that goes live in Idaho Falls. I'm Bree Clark.
Thanks, Bree. And tonight at 6, we'll take a look at some things contractors can overlook and what fire marshals are doing to make sure they don't. Carol?
New details have surfaced tonight about that mysterious September deaths of a whole family in Springville, Utah. The search warrants for the investigation are out. And as Brian Carlson tells us tonight, the tragedy doesn't look like an accident.
Search warrants just released today show new details in the mysterious deaths of a Springville family. According to the documents, next to each of the victims was a cup or drink with a liquid inside. Last month, Benjamin and Christy Strack and 3 of their children were found dead inside their Springville home near 9th East and 9th South. Their 18-year-old son discovered their bodies laying together in the master bedroom. According to the warrant, when emergency responders arrived, they found, quote, a red liquid substance coming from the mouth of Christy Strack. So far, it's unclear what that liquid may have been, but the documents show police removed a number of items from the house, including black slippers with a spot of blood, a towel covered in a red substance, a pitcher of red juice, pill bottles, drink bottles and cups, a bag of medications, a baggie of marijuana, empty sleep aid boxes, and a purple bucket with yellow liquid. The documents say Christy Strack's mother was there as investigators searched the house. She told them at the time, quote, said she couldn't believe she would do this to the kids. The family representative seemed shook up by the details.
I wasn't aware that this information was going to be coming out this evening, and there are a number of family members that I need to get in touch with.
So he describes here on that day.
I showed the documents today to Emily Stone, who organized a recent vigil for the family. She says she's in shock.
It's surprising. It's a little bit upsetting to me that those kind of things were found out.
So far, there's no official cause of death. However, the warrants suggest the family did not die from carbon monoxide poisoning. The newly released information says, quote, with the placement of the bodies, it would appear somebody had to position the bodies after they were deceased.
A judge has accepted a request from defense attorneys for more time to prepare to defend the Pocatello man charged with the 2004 stabbing death of Norrie Jones. A preliminary hearing set for Wednesday for Brad Scott Kampfer has been rescheduled for April 6th. Kampfer is charged with first-degree murder. He was arrested September 10th after police said DNA evidence and a fingerprint linked him to the killing of Norrie Jones. Defense attorneys say they need more time to meet with expert witnesses and review the DNA analysis.
Starbucks baristas and other employees are steaming tonight. It's our hot topic story. They have apparently been told that engagement rings and precious gems have to stay at home in their jewelry boxes. Don't bring them to work. As Lindsay Cohen reports, it's all part of the company's new dress code.
Beyonce sings about it. Billboards want you to buy into it. Makes me happy. But if you work for one of the country's largest coffee houses, better leave that bling at home.
Interesting. Don't bother me.
For real? Is that true? Oh, that seems kind of ridiculous.
Ridiculous as it may seem to some, Starbucks now says an engagement ring, anything with a stone, isn't welcome on its workers, even though tattoos and nose studs are now okay. The changes are part of a new dress code introduced at retail stores earlier this month, brewing up a bitter taste on social media. One man wrote, quote, to Starbucks, my wife just said you've instituted a policy she can't wear her wedding ring to work anymore. Where are your brains? Another, quote, now my wife can't wear her wedding ring during her shift, so whose name do I put on the lawsuit when she's harassed? And then this one, I would rather see a wedding ring and a watch than someone's mom tattoo. A Starbucks spokesman said the changes are based on federal food safety guidelines, that it's not about engagement rings specifically. Plain bands can still be worn.
I think they should have the right to wear it. They're engaged. I mean, that's all right if it don't get in the way of the work.
If there's science behind it, then I think it makes sense.
I think we should probably follow Europe's lead when it comes to food safety.
I'm not sure what Europe's lead is exactly there, but so the reason is that it might be some...
Well, I'm guessing. I mean, if you work in an industry like farming where there's belts and things moving, then the bigger stones that stick up like this could get caught and pull your finger
it's a
off.
safety issue.
I mean, it's a safety issue, but in the food industry, I'm trying to think at Starbucks, it's a hot topic.
Yeah.
Some workers have signed an online petition, and they're asking Starbucks to reverse the decision. But if it becomes a federal guideline, I don't know if they can.
But we want to know what you think. Did the coffee company giant go too far, or do you think the wedding ring ban is justified? You decide. Head to our Facebook page and weigh in on the conversation.
Took me about 30 years to get here, so I'd have a pretty tough time not wearing it every day.
Beautiful ring there.
Thanks. Hey, that lava flow continues to threaten to torch residential areas of Pahoa, Hawaii tonight. But there's a little bit of good news for the homeowners, and we'll tell you what that is coming right up.
And the largest Ebola vaccine trial on humans is about to get underway in Switzerland. You're watching Local News 8, where the news comes first. We'll be right back.
Carol Hodis, Jay Hildebrandt, and First Alert Chief Meteorologist Michael Coates. You're watching Local News 8 at 5. Local people, local news.
In world news tonight, Israel has closed one of the holiest sites in Islam, the Al-Aqsa Mosque in Jerusalem, preventing Muslim worshippers from praying there. The Israeli government says the closure is meant to calm tensions, but the opposite has occurred. Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas lashed out at Israel for closing the mosque. Abbas called it a declaration of war against the Palestinians and the entire Arab and Muslim world. Meanwhile, already strained U.S.-Israeli relations deteriorated after an article in The Atlantic magazine quoted a senior Obama administration official as using derogatory words to describe Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Secretary of State John Kerry gave a blunt rejection of the article.
Neither President Obama nor I've never heard that word around me in the White House or anywhere. I don't know who these anonymous people are who keep getting quoted in things. It is disgraceful, unacceptable, damaging.
Kerry was speaking at the Aspen Ideas Forum in Washington. Meanwhile, security officials are on high alert in Jerusalem following the shooting of right-wing Rabbi Yehuda Glick. The Temple Mount remains closed to worshipers and visitors after this man shot Glick multiple times following a speech he gave at a conference. He's in serious but stable condition. Israel's prime minister has called for increased police presence throughout Jerusalem. The largest Ebola vaccine trial on humans is about to get underway in Switzerland. 120 people will be receiving the vaccine in the town of Lausanne. Researchers will be trying to determine two things: is the vaccine safe, and what's the correct dosage? Some of the first people to receive it will be healthcare workers on their way to West Africa. They'll receive the vaccine, be monitored in Switzerland for 2 weeks, then continue monitoring in the hot zone.
In national news now, it was party time for the San Francisco Giant fans after their team beat the Kansas City Royals in Game 7 of the World Series. It was 3-2. Fans took to the streets in the Mission District and near Civic Center Plaza, where there had been a public watch party. They lit bonfires in the streets and they jumped on top of vehicles, and then police say one guy got shot in the arm because, you know, it's party time. The suspect wasn't caught. Meanwhile, in Wichita, Kansas, 4 people are dead after a small airplane crashed into a building. It happened near Wichita's Mid-Continent Airport this morning. Several people are still unaccounted for tonight. A 29-year-old woman with brain cancer who's planning to end her own life on November 1st has released a new video discussing her controversial decision. We first brought you this story as one of our first Hot Topic stories. Now, 29-year-old Brittany Maynard says she feels good enough and has enough joy that it doesn't seem like the right time now to kill herself. A video explaining her choice has about 9 million views on YouTube. Maynard lives in Oregon. She has an aggressive form of terminal brain cancer. She hasn't set a new date on when she'll end her own life yet, but that is a decision she is still determined to make for herself. The massive lava flow in Pahoa on Hawaii's Big Island has eased a little bit tonight. The slowdown is giving some of the local homeowners a little more time now so they can get out safely. ABC's Emmett Miller has more.
A 30-mile wide red-hot blanket over the community of Puna. The lava flow has now slowed to 5 to 10 yards an hour, giving villagers like Michelle Williams a chance to pack up and get out.
Luckily, it's slow, but that's also the downside, is it's painfully slow in a way.
ABC's Rob Marciano with an aerial perspective.
The flow rate has been erratic. We certainly can hope that it stops before it goes through a town and gets to the ocean. There's a history of doing that, but there's certainly no guarantee.
This lava began bubbling from a crater in the Kilauea volcano in June and has been sliding northeast toward the ocean ever since. The rain that fell over the region Wednesday couldn't stem the flow. The leading edge is still 225 yards from Pahoa's downtown business district. For now, though, business is up. Tourists have been pouring in to see the lava and are spending. But even if they're spared, businesses like Black Rock Cafe wonder how customers and vendors will reach them once the lava cuts off access.
It speeds up, it slows down. It's not like any other event where, you know, it comes and goes, gets over with, and you can move on.
Officials said the lava flow is now 100 feet from the nearest home, and the Hawaii National Guard has now been activated. In Los Angeles, Emmett Miller, ABC News.
Even the National Guard cannot stop the lava flow.
Yeah.
I mean, I can help people move, but...
Yeah, and I heard someone ask last night, is there any way to stop this? It's just too powerful at 2,000 degrees. It's fascinating to see. But I just feel so sorry for those people's homes are going to be overtaken by that.
Well, it's nature. It's how the islands were created to begin with. Now they're going to have more real estate. Just can't live on it. It's too hot.
That's right. Well, time now to toss things over to Michael Coates. Michael.
Yeah, far from Hawaii, but we are definitely seeing some warm temperatures here for October. Mostly cloudy right now in Idaho Falls, 66 degrees, winds north at 6, but the winds are definitely going to start to change up here as we head into the next couple of days. More in your stormy weekend forecast next.
your First Alert weather with Chief Meteorologist Michael Coates.
We're already beginning to see the leading edge of our cold front coming across Idaho and Wyoming tonight. High-level cloud cover, that's a sign that a cold front is not far behind. And the cold front right now just starting to get on the Oregon coastline here, getting into Washington State with quite a bit of moisture. This is going to be a big system for us in terms of temperature dropping and also looking at the possibility of bringing a hint of snow to the Snake River Plain Sunday morning. Now, it's going to be awfully warm once again here for tomorrow, and this is why. You have this counterclockwise circulation of a low, and you get all that wind being picked up out of the south and the southwest coming along the front of the cold front. So ahead of the cold front, it gets awfully warm and mild, but it will be windy here as we get into Friday, Saturday with the front passing. That front is expected to pass by Saturday here, and it's going to stop temperatures into the 50s. But for tomorrow, for Halloween, we're still going to be awfully mild here, with temperatures getting well into the 60s, well above average for this time of the year, ahead of that cold front. So Vipercast tonight, 10 o'clock through the overnight hours. Friday, it's going to be gorgeous here. This is Friday at 5 o'clock. Now, we're going to have plenty of sunshine here. We're going to have some high-level cloud cover, but still you're going to have some sunshine in between the high-level cloud cover, and then we're also going to bring in that breeze out of the southwest. Now here comes the cold front as it passes Saturday morning, and the winds will really be cranking up pretty strong here to get the day started on Saturday, and the showers will follow, wrapping around that cold front into Saturday afternoon. Now starting off with some rain, temperatures will be dropping into the 20s as we get overnight into Sunday morning. Now most of the precipitation will be east of the Snake River Plain for early Sunday morning, but there's enough there that we could see a bit of some snow to get our day started early around sunrise for Sunday. And then by Sunday afternoon, mainly cloudy with more scattered showers. Of course, the big question is for the trick-or-treaters, what's it looking like for tomorrow? Temperatures well into the upper 60s at 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, upper 50s at 7 o'clock. The sunset will be around 6:20, and the winds at 10 to 15. I backed off the winds just a little bit here for tomorrow, but we're still going to be looking at a breezy day here for your Friday. Lows tonight back to the mid-30s in Chouse, lower 30s in Mackay, and the mid-30s in Idaho Falls, with the lower 30s in Jackson, mid-30s around St. Anthony, lower 30s in Island Park. For lows tonight, we're hitting the 40s for Pocatello. Pretty mild tonight because we have already some cloud cover overhead, and we're getting a light southerly wind starting to pick up here for tonight and tomorrow, and that's going to keep our temperatures above average for this time of October, well above average. And we're going to be pushing near 70 tomorrow in Pocatello, 67 for Preston, 67 in Idaho Falls, upper 60s in American Falls. Rigby's looking at highs here into the upper 60s. We're also hitting 67 for Rexburg, mid 60s in Driggs, 59 in Island Park, 65 in Salmon, and the lower 60s for Mackay. Here's the 8-day forecast. Going forward, you're going to notice the big drop coming on Saturday. Temperatures will stop into the upper 50s for Saturday afternoon. Scattered snow and rain showers to carry us into Sunday, and a high of 44 for Sunday. Now we clear rather quickly from the wet weather. By late Sunday night, we should start to see some clearing getting into Monday. A few passing clouds Tuesday and Wednesday of next week there with highs into the upper 40s to lower 50s. Pocatello, highs here into the upper 60s for Friday. We're hitting the upper 50s on Saturday and 40s on Sunday for Pocatello. And yes, Pocatello could even see a bit of some snow, especially on the bench areas, but I'm counting on mostly rain still for Pocatello. It's once you get north of Bingham County that you could even see some snow on the valley floor. Rexburg, highs to the upper 50s on Saturday, 43 for Sunday afternoon in Rexburg for the high. Blackfoot also looking at the dropping temperatures with the high of 60 for Saturday, 46 on Sunday, and the mid-40s to get us back into Monday, and the upper 40s on Tuesday. So you can see we start to climb back out. Salmon, you're looking at highs here into the upper 50s on Saturday and the lower 40s on Sunday. Now, Salmon could also see a bit of some snow, but mostly in the mountains around Salmon. Salmon is still low enough in elevation. I don't suspect to get much of the white stuff in town. It's mostly going to be into the mountains. Jackson, highs here at 57 for Saturday, 38 on Sunday for the high, and 38 again to kick off Monday into next week there, the first full week of November. It's going to be a cold start to the week of November there for the first full week there as we end October here this weekend. Send it back over to Jane Carroll.
Thank you. Here's what we're working on for Local News 8 at 6. 3 Republican candidates are running for office on a joint issue, building a medical school at ISU.
But there's some debate from the Democratic side saying these legislative candidates don't understand all that goes into this issue. Coming up at 6, we'll hear from both sides.
All right, Halloween is right around the corner.
That's
One
right.
of the best-selling Halloween candies of all time, celebrating with its own holiday. More on that after the break.
But first, let's take a look at how the markets closed for the day. The Dow climbing once again. I'll be right back.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Candy corn. It is a staple of Halloween, and it is so popular it has its very own day. In fact, today is National Candy Corn Day. More than 35 million pounds of candy corn will be produced this year alone. This sweet kernel dates back to the 1880s. And just to put that in perspective for you, that's before the automobile, before the commercial telephone, and before Jay and I started anchoring together.
Even, yes.
And it's made
And
with
that's been a long
like
time.
sugar.
It has been a long
Here's
time.
some. Here.
More sugar and honey.
They're,
You want some here?
Yes, I love it
How
actually.
can you not eat
Okay,
them?
there you go.
Yeah, you have to eat them in thirds.
Yes,
Oh,
that's
more
right.
for me.
Well, we'll see you again at 6 o'clock. Time now for ABC World News.